How's it going, everyone? This is the Anime Man, and welcome back to another episode of the show where every single anime season we look at the upcoming anime season to see and give first impressions on the shows that I will be watching, the shows that I won't be watching, and the shows I genuinely don't care about, which looking at it recently has been most of them. But it is the end of September, ladies and gentlemen, which means that there is only one more season of the 2021 anime left. That's right, we're going to be looking at the fall 2021 anime season that will be going from October 2021 all the way up to December 2021. Now look, I have been coming back slowly to watch some more anime series this year, but you know what, in general, I feel 2021 anime hasn't exactly been the strongest that we have ever seen. Especially when you compare it to last year, I feel 2020 was so much more stacked compared to 2021, but I'm hoping that this final season of 2021 anime can kind of bring back that momentum and really do a good job in kickstarting the new year of 2022 anime. Because there are already a bunch of shows coming out in the winter 2022 season which really need something to get us excited for, really keep us engaged in the community and what's to come. So as always with any of these, we're on livechart.me, still hasn't sponsored me, and we'll just basically be going through all of the anime on this list and see what is good. When I say we'll see what is good, I mean we'll take a wild guess at what is good, because God knows I have been wrong with my first impressions in the past. But without further ado, let's get on with the list. Alright, first and foremost, we have Musho Tensei Isekai Ittara Honki Dasu Second Core. So, Musho Tensei is an isekai. You know me, with isekai series, I'm immediately with most of them. But Musho Tensei, I have actually started watching Musho Tensei Season 1. And my god, it's so pretty. Like, dead ass, I haven't seen an isekai show that has wowed me in the visual department as much as Musho Tensei in the last couple of years. Now, granted, the story, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. It's good, honestly. It's definitely a lot more interesting and well executed compared to the other isekai trash out there that has come out over the past couple of years. So it really is no surprise that this is at the top spot right now in the livechart.me list. But honestly, I mean, I'm probably not going to watch it right now because, again, I haven't finished season 1. Also, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to think that this is at the number 1 right now, because I thought this next one that I'll be talking about was definitely going to be number 1, but I guess Musho Tensei is just really goddamn popular right now. But hey, don't worry, alright? It took me a year to finally watch Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm going to watch Musho Tensei, okay? Chill your tits. But speaking of top hyped shows for this fall 2021 anime season, we of course have to talk about Komisanwa Komisho desu. Now this, my god, I can't actually believe that we're finally getting an anime adaptation of this, honestly, because I thought for sure this would never in my life get an anime adaptation. Not because it's not a great manga, don't get me wrong, I fucking love this manga. But it's just the fact that as a cohesive story, and especially the way that the original manga is kind of portrayed and laid out in its structure, I thought it would have been very, very difficult to make a good live action adaptation of. Obviously, we've had this massive wave of what I like to call Iyashikei slice of life series. We've kind of almost had the second wave of it with anime adaptations of Uzaki-chan, Jahi-sama, Nagatoro, all of those with sort of varying levels of success in my opinion. Some of them did it really well, like Nagatoro adaptation was actually pretty good, and then you had things like Uzaki that was kind of just really fucking annoying. Jahi-sama was kind of in a mid-range for me. I thought it was a decent adaptation, especially considering that I actually preferred the manga for Jahi-sama over any of those three. It was a little bit disappointing to see the anime adaptation, but regardless, I think out of the whole Iyashikei slice of life movement that is happening right now with these big manga series that are kind of creating its own fan base, kind of separate from the anime community, it's going to be really interesting to see how well they'll actually be able to portray the kind of stillness and quietness of the original manga. But at least, from what I can see here, OLM Studios has kind of nailed the aesthetic, because again, the aesthetic, the character designs for Komi-san is definitely very unique. So we can at least tick that off the list of good things that are kind of come out of this adaptation. But regardless, if you don't know what this is about, let me read the synopsis for you. Socially anxious high school student Shoko Komi's greatest dream is to make some friends, but everyone at school mistakes her crippling social anxiety for cool reserve. With the whole student body keeping its distance and Komi unable to utter a single word, friendship might be forever beyond her reach. As you can see from that synopsis, there is a big reason why this manga became massive originally, especially in Japan, but especially also in the West. There's a lot of socially anxious people out there. And look, normally I do not dig these kinds of plot points because a lot of these like interactions that happen in stories like this end up being really cringy. Like a great example of a very similar plot point and plot structure and kind of plot device with the whole social anxiety thing that ended up being one of the most cringiest, hard to watch anime series out there, which for some reason was fucking popular, was Watamote back in the day. I mean, so many people loved that anime. I couldn't fucking stand it. It was so goddamn not funny and cringe. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm in a fucking privileged position where I personally do not suffer from social anxiety. Like, I'm pretty open when it comes to my social circles, but, you know, there are a lot of people out there who probably related very heavily to Kuroki Tomoko, and probably a lot of people out there right now relating very heavily to Shoko Komi. But I think the good thing about Komisanwa Komisho this, which I preferred much more than Watamote, is the fact that it kind of tackles this idea of social anxiety to a really, I guess, serious degree. While Watamote kind of took this whole social anxiety thing, stepped it up to 11, and then just kind of poked fun of it to make fun of itself in a kind of self-aggrandizing way, Komisanwa Komisho this kind of takes that idea of social anxiety and really puts it in some really relatable situations. So much more so to the point that even with someone who doesn't have social anxiety, such as myself, can very much relate to the problems these characters face. And for those of you who have progressed further in the manga would know that as we get later into the manga, this whole social anxiety gimmick slowly starts to kind of get a little bit muddied with some other plot devices that come into play. Obviously, no spoilers in the comments, please, for those of you who haven't read the manga. But, you know, I looked at the trailer for this when it first was announced, and you know what? I am kind of excited for it. I am kind of interested to see if they can actually stick the landing on this, because if they do manage to do it, then I think we're going to get ourselves a pretty good Yashike slice of life this season. All right, up next we have Data Life 4. Fourth season of Data Life. I mean, who asked for this? Who loved Data Life so much that they were like,
you know what? We need another season of this shit. I need another season of it right fucking now.
Because I genuinely don't understand who is still watching Data Life. I mean, I could barely make it past season fucking 1, let alone 4 seasons of this shit now. Why is it that shows like this get 4 seasons, and yet we never got a No Game No Life season 2? Instead, we got a movie that nobody fucking asked for. I mean, look, regardless, I don't understand why Data Life is still popular. If there are people watching this video right now who are actually genuinely excited for Data Life season 4, can you please let me know in the comments below? Can you please educate me? Why? What is it about Data Life that is so good that it warrants 4 whole seasons of it? Because I am genuinely curious. I watched season 1 multiple times because I wanted to understand why this show was still popular as it is. I still don't see it. I still think it's one of the most generic harem mecha sci-fi light novel adaptations of all time. All right, up next is oh god, this is gonna be a doozy. 世界最高の暗殺者異世界貴族に転生する. There's a kind of a reason as to why I am slightly looking forward to this show. And that might come as a big surprise to a lot of you because, you know, you'd think,
oh, the anime man
immediately sees isekai in the title of any anime and it's just like, nope, trash, get that shit out of here. Well, the reason why I am very much excited for this anime adaptation is because I knew this anime adaptation was coming a long time before it was announced, because this is originally written by a certain author by the name of Tsukiyo Rui. And if that name sounds familiar to you, then it should, because he's been on this channel before, because he is the creator of Redo of Healer. We are getting another Redo of Healer-like show, baby. Oh my god, I am excited for this. The tumultuous shitstorm that is about to be brewed with this series, as big of a tumultuous shitstorm Redo of Healer was that hit on Twitter and social media and all of that when it was airing, is about to hit again, baby. We are getting a wave 2 of tumultuous anime shitstorm. But you know what? Let's read the synopsis in case you have no idea what it is, because I don't know what it is either. All I know is that it's written by the same guy who did Redo, so maybe it might be something completely different. When a great assassin is reborn in another world, he finds himself the heir to a long line of killers from the shadows. With both his modern-day knowledge and experience and the special magic and techniques of this new world, he could very well just become the most unstoppable assassin in history. Look, I realize that it might not sound as like messed up as Reader of Healer. Who knows? There might not even be like a revenge element to it. But just knowing the fact that, again, this is written by my boy Tsukiyorui, and the fact that he made Redo and a lot of his other light novels that I have kind of perused in the past is very similar to the vibe of Redo, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to say that this one is kind of gonna be the same as well. Like, are we about to get something that's just like absolutely messed up again, that again is gonna cause a shitstorm on social media? I don't know, to be honest with you, but you know what? I'm secretly hoping. I'm genuinely secretly hoping, because my god, the shitstorm when Redo hit was so hilarious to watch. Just so funny to watch so many people who are clearly not used to shows like this seeing something like Redo and going, how the fuck? So if we get a round 2 of that shit, my boys, oh, count me in. I am there with the popcorn. All right, up next, we got 86 Second Core. Now, again, this is another show that I should have watched. Did it come out this year? I'm pretty sure it came out this year, right? The first season of 86. I heard great things about it. Again, I haven't watched it. I apologize. But the fact that there's a second core coming out must be good. You know what? I'll keep that in mind. Moving on. All right, up next is, oh my god, a fucking essay of a title once again. 真の仲間じゃないと勇者のパーティーを追い出されたので、辺境でスローライフすることにしました。Sick. You aren't really one of us. Unable to join the fighting on the front, the hero Red is cut and cast out of his adventuring party by the leadership. Man, it was rough going for a while there. Red has no idea how much of a panic his sudden absence has caused. He has been excitedly working towards the opening of his own little herb shop not far away. Do you think I could work here too? Lodging provided, of course. Suddenly, a former companion and princess is in his home? A fun little herb business. A flirty home life with a tomboy princess. The unsatisfied hero's wonderful new life is about to begin. Does that not just sound like every fucking spin-off of every isekai show ever created? Like, you could replace these characters with literally any cast of characters from any isekai show and it would work just as well. Except the biggest difference is that this is not a spin-off. This is the actual story. Have we really not run out of isekai shows at this point? Are we still kind of running its par for the course to think like, yeah, we can still get some milk out of this? This cow is dry to the bone. I can see its fucking rib cages from the other side, my boys, and yet, you know what? We could probably still squeeze that last drop of milk out because, that shit gonna be delicious though. I mean, look, man, I just can't get into it. I won't understand it. I won't fall for it. I will not support this side of the anime industry, okay? I will not support these people who keep making the same fucking shows every goddamn season for years and years and years and years. I'm sorry, it's just not happening. All right, next. Now, why would you try to indulge yourself in some subpar isekai when you can indulge yourself in some goddamn culture with Shumatsu no Harem? I completely fucking forgot that this was getting an anime adaptation, and I am losing my mind yet again. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we talked about this on the very first episode of Trash Taste, that this was getting an anime adaptation, which means this has been at least a year in the making because it got announced about a year ago. And now, finally, this season, we are getting the anime adaptation, probably going to be one of the most controversially ecchi, like borderline hentai series that we have ever seen on TV. Like, if you thought Redo was borderline hentai, you are in for a fucking ride with Shumatsu no Harem, my boys and girls. The time is near future Tokyo, Japan in 2040. Reito, a young man suffering from an intractable disease, vows to reunite with his childhood friend Erisa and decides to cold sleep to cure her illness. When he wakes up 5 years later, the world was undergoing a major transformation. The MK, or male killer, virus kills 99.9% of men on the planet. The ground was a super harem with 5 billion women for every 5 men. Only 5 men, numbers, are resistant to the MK virus. One of them, Reito, is required to mate for the survival of the remaining women and humankind. Harem life waiting for the world after a pandemic. At the same time, Reito is involved in a global conspiracy over numbers. Can he overcome the temptation and save the world? That is dead ass a hentai plot. As a man of culture, I absolutely adore this manga. The art is fantastic. The scenes are Chef's kiss. But Jesus Christ, man, this is not supposed to be an anime. Again, I would have been okay if this got like a hentai adaptation, right? Like that would have been completely understandable, especially with this kind of plot, right? Completely understandable. Of course it's going to get a hentai adaptation. But Jesus Christ, this is going to be an anime adaptation, which means one of two things. One, it's going to be extremely censored, like to the point that Redo was with the TV release versus the web release. Or two, they're just going to straight up play some hentai on national Japanese television, I guess. Wow, the balls. I mean, look, knowing how things go in Japan, it's probably going to be the first one. I mean, we're probably going to get something that's like really, really censored to the point where it's just like unviewable. But hey, if there's an uncensored version that's gonna come out, that's gonna be some juicy shit, my boys. Either way, I'm kind of interested to see how they are going to adapt this to the extent that it does, because I believe at this point, me recording this video, there is 11 volumes of Shumatsu no Harem, and there is a lot of like really deep cut plot points that happen throughout this entire series as well. Like, this isn't just like, yes, it does sound like a hentai plot because it is, but it's really cool as well because they definitely integrated a lot more with the kind of politics involved in it, in a lot of like suspense horror. You know, they really take this idea of like this pandemic that 99.9% of males on the earth have died kind of situation, this post-apocalyptic situation, and really put like interesting kind of political twists on it as well. So if it's entirely not ecchi in any way. Like, if anything, for as lewd of a plot point this entire series is, there actually isn't a whole lot of ecchi scenes, surprisingly. I mean, it kind of makes sense because if there were any more than there already was in the manga, it would, again, just straight up be a doujin, not a manga. So that's going to be really interesting to see how they're going to do it. It's Studio Gokumi as well, who have done pretty okay with these kinds of harem adaptations as well. So, you know what? I'm expecting something pretty decent out of this, but hey, only one way to find out, I guess. I'm looking forward to this one, though, a lot. As a man of culture, gentlemen, rise up. We're about to experience some culture this season. All right, this one as well is going to be very nice. I think this as well has the potential to be really, really big. And I'm surprised it's as far down on the list as it actually is. Platinum End. Now, you might have heard of the name of the series, and you have every right to, because this is made by two guys who have a very big resume under their belt. It is made by Obata Takeshi and Oba Tsugumi. Now, if you guys know those names, you would know that they are the two guys who created a number of very well-regarded, well-respected, amazing manga series, such as, I don't know, Bakuman and fucking Death Note. Yeah, that's right. The Dream Team is back, and they're made Platinum End. Now, I've actually read this manga a little bit. I believe it just ended this year, I think. I've read a couple of the first volume of it. Fucking fantastic. I mean, again, it's Oba Tsugumi and Obata Takeshi. They're brilliant. So, yeah, this anime adaptation was just waiting to come. Like, there was no way this wasn't going to get an anime adaptation, especially with the massive success of both Death Note and Bakuman's live adaptations. This was waiting to get anime adapted. But let me read the synopsis for those of you who don't know anything about it. I will give you the hope to live. Kakehashi Mirai lost his parents in an accident and lived in misery with the relatives who took him in. Having lost hope in everything, he jumped off the roof of a building on the day of his middle school graduation. But then he met an angel. Ooh, I love the way that they wrote that synopsis. Very, very mysterious, not giving too much away. Which honestly, I think is the best way to experience Platinum End. I think it definitely is to just kind of go into it blind, expecting greatness, because, I mean, it is fantastic. Am I saying it's as good as Death Note or Bakuman? No, it definitely has its shortcomings, but nothing too, I guess, devastating to the actual story. Like, I haven't finished the manga. I only got maybe like volume 2 or 3 in, but the little that I did read of Platinum End was pretty goddamn good. So, hey, I'm looking forward to it. Unfortunately, we're not going to have, Madhouse or any of those like big studios adapting this. It's Signal MD, which still does some pretty decent stuff. But I think if they nail it like they did with Death Note and Bakuman, man, like this is going to be big. This is going to be huge. Obata Takeshi and Oba Tsugumi fans are already frothing at the mouth, as am I. So, hey, you know what? I'm looking forward to this one. All right, up next we have Saihatino Paladin. I've never heard of this one. It's made by Children's Playground Entertainment. That is not a studio that I was expecting to hear out of Japan, but let's read the synopsis. In the ruined city of the dead, far from human civilization, lives a single human child named Will. He is raised by 3 undead: Blood, the heroic skeleton warrior; Mary, the ladylike mummy priestess; and Gus, the crotchety ghost wizard. The 3 of them teach the boy what they know and pour their love into them. One day, the boy begins to wonder, Who am I? Will uncovers the mysteries of the undead hidden in this faraway land. He learns of the love and mercy of good gods, as well as the paranoia and madness of evil gods. And once he learns it all, the boy embarks on the path to becoming a paladin. That actually sounds kind of interesting, low-key, like, not gonna lie. You hear of a lot of, like, fantasy, isekai fantasy stories where, you know, the main character is raised by a certain, you know, group or monster or whatever the hell it is. You know, you have ones that are raised by, you know, orcs, you have ones that are raised by slime, you have ones that are raised by wizards, whatever. I don't think I've ever heard one where they're raised by the undead. You know what, that's kind of interesting, and I do love this aesthetic. Again, it kind of gives me like Musho Tensei vibes, but like a little more like on the serious end. I'm probably gonna have to see the trailer of this to get like a proper idea of what to expect out of this show, but yeah, so far looking pretty promising. Okay, this one as well, I'm surprised got an anime adaptation so quickly, and it's Mieruko-chan. Now this one, man, I've seen at least in bookstores fucking everywhere. This series has been really skyrocketing in popularity over the past year or so. When I saw it just all over the place in like manga stores and whatnot, I knew like, yeah, this is gonna get an anime adaptation for sure, and it is, and it's getting animated by Passion as well, Studio Passion. Honestly, like I think it's a great fucking choice. So hey, you know what? Let's read the synopsis for those of you who don't know. A normal girl was living a normal life until she wasn't. One day she could see everything. What's a girl to do when hideous monsters appear no matter which way she turns? And on top of that, nobody else can see them. Obviously, there's only one thing that makes sense: ignore them. Just like the haters. Kind of hard to put theory into practice though when the ghosts know she's watching. I like this is a kind of playful synopsis right there by Yen Press. But yeah, I think the easiest way to kind of describe Mieruko-chan is if you took Shaman King, but instead of Yo being the main character, it's Manta, and the entire concept of shamans just doesn't exist. It's kind of like this whole like horror comedy type of element that has kind of proven itself to work in the anime industry, I feel, especially with series like Zombieland Saga being a really big one that really propelled this whole comedy horror thing forward in a really positive direction. So that might be a big reason as to why Mieruko-chan did so well, because I feel it's the same kind of demographic that is reading these kinds of shows. To be fair, I haven't read Mieruko-chan at all. Again, I've seen it all over bookstores. I've been tempted to buy it. I just never had the time to buy it. But hey, now that it's getting an adaptation, I might just well watch the anime. And if it sucks, I'll read the manga as per usual. All right, up next we have Shinka no Mi Shiranai Uchi ni Kachigumi Jinsei by Studio Hotline. Oh, okay, what an interesting title. Also, is that a fucking crying red gorilla? What? Also, these two guys don't look like they belong in the same anime. What is happening? What is this image? This image just confuses the fuck out of me. This guy looks like the main character from Excel World if he wasn't 2 feet tall. The animal fantasy story centers on Seiichi Hiragi. Though at the bottom of his school's social pecking order, he and his entire school are appended when everyone in the school is transported into another world. Oh, it's a fucking isekai again. Seiichi finds himself alone and approached by a gorilla who, instead of attacking him, proposes to him. What? At the moment that Seiichi thinks that, I guess a gorilla is fine too, they find the fruit of evolution, and when they eat it, their lives are suddenly changed once again. I got no information out of that synopsis other than it's an isekai and a dude marries a gorilla. What the fuck?
What the fuck is this?
You know what? Now that I'm hearing this like craziness and I'm seeing this like really whacked out promotional poster, I might check this out. This kind of looks like it could be something that's just like so what the fuck that it might honestly just make a name for itself. I mean, I have no fucking idea. Apparently it's based off a light novel, which is interesting. But hey, you know what? I'm always down for some more interesting light novel adaptations. Yes, it's an isekai, but this might have really taken the idea of milking the isekai genre to a whole other direction. All right, up next is, Tucked Up Destiny. First of all, that promotional art is chef's kiss, but also check this out, dude. Mappa and Madhouse, two of the fucking powerhouses of the animation industry in Japan. Everybody already gets hyped when Mappa does shit, and people get hyped when Madhouse does shit. And now they're joining forces, my boy. It's like the Justice League of anime studios coming together on this shit. It's a mixed media project, which could be literally anything, but let's read the synopsis. The world completely changed when it was struck by a black meteorite which produces grotesque monsters called D2 that have overrun the land and its people. D2 very quickly banned all music, which was the one thing able to overcome them. But there are people who resist resist the D2. They are young women who hold the power of music, the music art. With the guidance of a conductor, these young women use the greatest music scores in human history to defeat the monsters. The anime takes place in America in the year 2047, which has fallen to ruin thanks to the D2. Tucked, a conductor, is partnered with a music art named Destiny. Tucked yearns for music to be returned to the world, and Destiny wishes to destroy the D2. Their aim is to travel to New York. Wow, okay, so I assume this is probably based off like a mobile game, maybe a rhythm game of some kind, just from the sounds of it. You know, this is a concept that is not entirely unique in any way. But, again, it's Mappa and Madhouse, dude. Like, two, again, of the biggest powerhouses in the Japanese anime industry coming together to do something that looks really fucking cool and really unique. And, you know what? Could be fantastic. So I think this is one that people definitely have to keep their eyes on. For sure, because it might end up being just like one of those like hidden gems that had no hype in the beginning, but might be so fucking good that it makes a name for itself as it is. All right, up next we have Senpai ga urusai kouhai no hanashi, another Doga Kobo series, romance, slice of life, and comedy. Okay. Igarashi is a hardworking young office lady. Takeda, the senpai above her at work, annoys her constantly, and yet she finds herself growing closer to him. Every day is filled with comic mishaps and romantic moments as Igarashi tries to balance work, life, and love. So again, this definitely seems like another one of those like Iyashike slice of life, you know, in the same realm as Komi-san, but taken more in a lot more of a comedic spin, I find. It honestly almost looks like Nagatoro mixed with Kobayashi-san from Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. That's what this main character looks like right here. Also, this guy's built like a brick shithouse, so good on him, I guess. But yeah, Doga Kobo slice of life shows are always fun to watch. You know, nothing special, absolutely, but you know what? Still fun, cute, decent, so I think we'll check this one out. Okay, this one is another big one coming out this season, ladies and gentlemen. Blue Period. I mean, first of all, has been recommended to me like no fucking tomorrow. This is a massive Shonen Jump show right now. And you know what? I still haven't started reading it yet, but every time I see it in the bookstore, I'm like, this is the day. This is the day I'm gonna start it. But then I remember there's an anime adaptation of it, so I might just check out the anime adaptation of it. If it sucks again, we'll go back to the manga. But this is a shonen manga based, or seinen manga, I guess, based on paintings. Blue Period, of course, is a reference to Picasso's Blue Period, which is like a period of his painting career where he used a lot of blues and like melancholy and stuff like that. Art history, yay. But let's read the synopsis. The studious Yatora leaves a dry life of study and good manners behind for a new passion, painting. But untethering yourself from all your past expectations is dangerous as well as thrilling. So yeah, this one is, you know, pretty self-explanatory, as I mentioned. It's just a drama seinen with painting. Hey, how many fucking drama seinens do we get that involve painting and arts and crafts and stuff like that? So every artist out there is probably frothing at this one, waiting for finally some recognition in that side, and good on you as well, because I only heard the most amazing things about this manga, so I really hope 7 Arcs pulls through and gives us something worth celebrating. Alright, up next we have another Madhouse adaptation, this time of a manga, Kyuketsuki Sugu Shinu, which means vampires die immediately. Wow, alright. It's a comedy shonen supernatural vampire. Wow, what an interesting art style. I have no idea. I've never heard of this one before. Let's read the synopsis though. In the suburbs of Inakacho, Saitama Prefecture, there is a castle where an immortal vampire is said to live. The vampire hunter Ronald is hired to rescue the children who have not returned from there. But what he finds is Drell, a wimpy vampire who easily dies and turns into ash, though he is immortal. And the children were not caught by him, but were only playing in the castle. Ronald destroyed Drell's castle through a little carelessness. As a result, Dralk, who lost his home, comes to live with Ronald at his office in Shin Yokohama. Then the two pair up to try to solve various cases, such as the exhibitionist vampire. You know what? That sounds cute. I can get behind cute and wholesome shows like that. I mean, Dralk is pretty fucking cute. Like, I do love this art style. And again, like, it's cool to see kind of like taking it more in like a comedic spin as well. So I think this is going to be one of those like really cute and adorable shows with like way too good of an animation budget, because again, this is Madhouse we're talking about. They always kill it with anime adaptations, even when it's unnecessary. So yeah, again, Madhouse always pull through with some good stuff, regardless of if it's known or not known. So you know what? We'll check this one out. All right, up next we got Sakugan. Oh, it's a mecha sci-fi. Very, very simple. The VCRX hosted world premiere on August the 5th. Oh, okay, so it's already been long posted with the premiere, so I guess maybe people already know if this is going to be a good show or not. But this is done by Studio Satellite, which does some pretty decent stuff, so let's read the synopsis. In the distant future, humankind lives shoulder to shoulder in a cramped colony divided by bedrock. Outside the colony extends a dangerous, undeveloped area known as the Labyrinth. Those who risk their lives to explore the Labyrinth and mark undeveloped areas are known as markers. Mimimpu is a young girl who wants to become a marker, and Gagumba is a man who quit being a marker. There's some interesting names. This ragtag father and daughter team are about to take on the Labyrinth. If there is no path, then dig one. It's kind of like Dig Dug, the anime, but with cute girls, and it's animated by Studio Satellite. That's pretty dope. It almost, as well, kind of gives me a little bit of, Gurren Lagann vibes, the beginning of Gurren Lagann and stuff like that. It even gives me a little bit of, like, Made in Abyss vibes as well. Maybe not as horrific as Made in Abyss, but definitely that kind of atmospheric vibe I'm thinking of. Yeah, this might honestly end up being a pretty decent show, But again, I don't know. Apparently the premiere came out, like, almost 2 months ago at this point of me recording this video, so hey, who knows? It might be good, might not be good. You guys let me know down in the comments, obviously without spoiling. All right, up next we got Tsukito Daika to Nosferatu by Arvo Animation. Arvo Animation, is that an Australian fucking studio in the Arvo? Afternoon Animation, Arvo Animation? First 2 episodes will be shown in a paid online pre-screening in Japan on September the 4th. Regular broadcasting begins in October. I want to know what this paid online pre-screening in Japan is. Like, what is that? What, like Netflix? The original novel story is set in a fictional world 10 years after a long war divided the world into 2 superpowers, the Union of Zernitra Republics in the West and the United Kingdom of Arnak in the West. Both of these superpowers now test their ambitions against each other in a space race. In 1960, the Union's premier Gurgiv announces Project Mektat, or Dream, a prestigious plan to launch manned missions into the final frontier. To this end, the Union establishes the isolated city of Laika 44, where cosmonaut candidates compete for planned manned missions to space, and scientists develop the technology to make it happen, all in an environment of secrecy. The story centers on Lev Leps, a backup astronaut candidate, and his new companion, the vampire Irina Rumenescu. As part of a daring new operation Nosferatu, Project Mektat will use Irina as a test subject for various conditions expected in space, and ultimately as part of a manned mission, with Lev overseeing Irina's training as a cosmonaut. For reasons of their own, both dream of going into space. Jesus Christ. First of all, that synopsis sounded like a fucking Wikipedia article. But second of all, vampires in space. Vampires in space! Never would have thought we would get vampires in space. Like, I thought that concept was reserved for, like, really shitty, like, B-grade films, like, maybe, like, YouTube films and stuff like that, but no! We're literally getting an anime series with vampires in space. Wow. 2021 be tripping, bro. Like, we are getting some weird fucking shows this season, which honestly might end up being good. I don't know. Might have just been throwing into the meh pile of unforgettable crap. Who knows? But so far, my God, like, what the fuck are these shows this season? All right, and last but certainly not least, I kind of want to check this one out. Deep Insanity, The Lost Child. It's a Silverlink Studios mixed media project sci-fi. This looks very much like a really serious looking thing. It almost kind of gives me Fire Punch vibes just from this cover, but let's read the synopsis. Madness and unawakening sleep. Randolph syndrome. This new illness is slowly but steadily approaching humanity, caused by the huge underground world asylum that appeared in Antarctica. They are strange creatures different from the Earth and unknown resources. People bet their lives on the depths of the mysterious new world to get huge wealth, organizational plots, or their own ambitions. And here alone, a young man with a wish in his heart is trying to challenge the front line of asylum. Why is it that whenever I hear like sci-fi, Antarctica, it literally just sounds like The Thing on crack? Which is, when I say that, it's a good thing. I thought The Thing was an amazing film, very scary, even now when you watch it. And yeah, like, I don't know, it just seems like it's gonna be like a really dark sci-fi, which I can absolutely get behind. I love me my dark sci-fi. I think I just like me my dark shows in general. Dark fantasy, dark sci-fi, it's all good shit. But yeah, Silverlink usually does some pretty good stuff. It's, again, a mixed media project, so that could be based on, I don't know what the fuck, but it's going to be interesting to see which direction they take it in. It could be like a thriller, could be an action adventure, it could just be like a political sci-fi maybe. I don't know. It really can go in any kind of direction from here on out, so it's going to be interesting to see which way it goes. Silverlink usually pull through with shows like this, so I'm looking forward to it. But there you go, guys. That's going to do it for this What Will I Be Watching for the fall 2021 anime season. Honestly, there's a couple of like really, really bizarre and interesting series coming out. Obviously, you know, you have the big ones like Komi-san, you have, you know, Shumatsu no Harem, you have Platinum Man, the big shows that people are already looking forward to. And then you have, you know, again, like the Space Vampire one, the one where the guy marries a gorilla in an isekai or some shit. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of like really whacked out ones this season. Those whacked out ones could really fall in either side of the spectrum. It's going to be interesting to see which side of the spectrum they do fall in. Again, I think like the already like pre-established, pre-hyped shows like Komi-san, Shumatsu no Harem, Platinum Man are going to be the ones that people are going to be talking about the most this season. I'm obviously looking forward to those, as well as, you know, Mieruko-chan as well. And this Mapper and Madhouse one, Tact OP Destiny, that could end up being some like insane shit. Obviously Blue Period, and I might honestly check out this Kyuketsuki Sugu Shinu one because it sounds cute and fun. Really a mixed bag this season. But hopefully we do end up kind of getting this like nice batch to end off 2021 with a positive bang. Hello there, fellow gamers. Do you enjoy playing games? Fantastic. Now let me ask a different question. Hello there, fellow degenerates. Do you enjoy playing games? Even better, because this video is sponsored by Aerolabs. Aerolabs is the #1 location for all of your lewd and crude anime games that will make any fellow degenerate chef's kiss the air in passion. There is a plethora of saucy anime games for you to choose from, all available on your mobile devices, such as Tenkafuma, Diablo's Harem, a game where you play as Caesar, the most powerful archdemon from hell, to conquer the human, hell, and heavenly realms to collect girls for your lovely harem. And don't worry if that doesn't sound like your cup of tea, because there is a wide collection of all sorts of saucy anime games available, such as, oh, I don't know, CNG, for instance. You don't want to know what that stands for. Aerolabs has all of this and a whole lot more, all available on your iOS and Android devices. So if you would like to join the true culture club, then make sure to check out Aerolabs by going down to the link in the description below. I will be eagerly awaiting for your return to the dark side, my degenerate boys and girls. So thank you once again to Aerolabs for sponsoring this video. Well, yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about this fall 2021 anime season. What shows will you be watching? What shows won't you be watching? What are some shows that I missed out on this livechart.me list, which, by the way, I've left in the description below, should I go and check out maybe and kind of give my first impressions on? Leave that all down in the comments below, or leave me your thoughts over on Twitter. And if you want to check out any of my first impressions for the past 3 seasons of the 2021 anime seasons, then I've left all those down in the description below, so make sure to go check it out. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Like, favorite if you enjoy, subscribe for any more banter, keep watching anime. Jane!